This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/TYT.
ABC News reporter Miguel Martinez was reporting from Bahrain and was at one of these rallies in Bahrain. I guess there weren't that many because there's only like 675 people in the whole country.
In the whole country.
Yeah.
You know, and by the way, it's Pearl Square. Everything happens in a square. You can't have a revolution without there being a square. Tiananmen, Tahrir, now it's Pearl in Bahrain.
Yeah, you'd think you could have one in a park.
Yeah, in a plaza.
Yeah.
So aren't there other places to revolt?
That's the center, like, of the city that they're in.
Sure, but why
it's
can't
a square.
Why can't it be a plaza?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, tell me that.
Why not?
Right.
Captain.
I don't know.
Right, it's
Yeah,
fine.
Pearl, Captain Clark.
Where everybody's
I was
gathered
never a captain.
in Pearl Oval this evening. It's fine.
Anyway, so here's Miguel Martinez. Let's listen to the first part. This is clip 3, the beginning of his report. He's on the phone talking back to the office. He's in Bahrain talking back to the ABC News office in New York.
It's after 3 o'clock in the morning here at Pearl Square. The military has just come alongside a highway right next to the main square here in town and is firing tons of tear gas into the square, clearing about 2,000 or 3,000 protesters out. Now there are whole gangs of police officers moving in a line to clear the square forcefully. Clearly, the military is not taking any more. The protesters are now starting to move back toward the military, and they are in a complete fight right on the street. Oh, there was a canister that looked like of now a police officer is chasing me. No. Press, media, journalists. Damn it! No! Journalists! Give me! No! Give me! He said no! Give me! He said no! He said no! All right! I'm going!
Anyway, not Miguel Martinez, Miguel Marquez.
Miguel Marquez, yeah.
I'm going. He then says it a bunch of times that he's going. These attacks on journalists. And by the way, apparently yelling journalists, apparently the worst thing to yell.
Note to self: learn Bahraini word for journalist.
Yes, good idea.
Or don't learn Bahraini word for journalist. Yell Bahraini word for down with the king.
Right, yeah, I'm Bahraini.
Yeah, death to the king. Right. Yeah.
No, that was security guys.
Oh, then learn the Bahraini word for long live the king.
Right. I mean, this is all the administrations in each of these countries beating the hell out of the journalists.
Gotta lighten up.
Yeah.
I can't lighten up. It's serious stuff.
Of course
man.
it is, Wes. I'm just saying that I know that just saying that you were Bahraini would not have helped, and just saying "Long live the king" would not help.
No, you would have gotten, if you said "down with the king" to
all
those
right,
guys, they would have killed him.
No, it's just all of a sudden the attacks on journalists. I mean, obviously the worst of which Laura Logan of CBS. But Anderson Cooper, and there have been many other cases. The couple of Fox News journalists who were detained and beaten. A long list of journalists who have encountered serious problems in Egypt and now in Bahrain. And obviously these guys, these government thugs in these countries, they don't care. They're unmoved.
One of the freedoms that we enjoy here is not obviously one of the freedoms they enjoy there, which is the freedom of the press, that a journalist can just sort of walk amongst what's going on there. So, I mean, they're not accustomed. I'm not by any means excusing it, but you see how repressed everybody is there. If they're the government hacks are attacking, or the monarch.
Yeah, but we've been there before. I mean, it's interesting because we've had the press has reported in these types of places before.
But never under this duress in a place like Bahrain. I mean, I don't know that there's a history of this kind of duress in Bahrain where the king is letting loose his minions and saying, have at it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it's just alarming to see how much it's happened and so often. But I guess you're right that this is certainly it's new to these guys. Anyway, the good news is that Miguel Marquez got out of that situation relatively unscathed. Here's the back half. Here's part of the back half of his report.
I just got beat rather badly by a gang of thugs. I'm now in a marketplace near our hotel where people are cowering in buildings. I mean, these people are not screwing around. They are going to clear that square tonight ahead of any protests on Friday. The government clearly does not want this to get any bigger. If Bahrain goes, there are fears that Saudi Arabia could face greater problems. The regime here is really laying down the line, saying it stops tonight.
There you go, Wes, touching on what you're talking about and the obvious control that Saudi Arabia, that the ruling family in Saudi Arabia is exerting on the kingdom of Bahrain.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, they're willing to cut people's heads off for sleeping with someone before marriage. They'll definitely do it if you want to take their money and power away. I mean,
asked and answered.
Audible.com is the leading provider of audiobooks.
In fact, they have over 75,000 titles.
And you can listen on your iPod or your MP3 player. You can listen to it anywhere at any time. It's incredibly convenient.
And they have books in every single genre imaginable. You can get a free audiobook if you go to audiblepodcast.com/TYT.
Totally true.